Too bad she's not here to attest to that.
Hey, welcome everybody. It is Thursday night, 7 o'clock, and y'all know what time it is. It is IntellectualRadio.com. I'm here with my girl. Introduce yourself, sweetheart.
This is you don't know my name?
No, I know your name. I want you to introduce yourself. That's what I want you to do.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Tasha. I'm the co-host of Intellectual Radio.
There you go.
Candid Talk. Where am I? Candid Talk Radio, Intellectual Radio. I'm sorry. The co-host, our host, actually, Chris, is not here today.
Yeah, I got
she set us up, y'all. She set us up.
Yeah, shorty. Know that now. I got a few choice words for you when I talk to you, but we are gonna do our best to fill in and try not to make it too boring for y'all, man. Again, Thursday night, the livest night of your life. Intellectual Radio, Candid Talk. Here with Tasha. Tasha, what's going on with your mama? How your week been so far?
My week has been long. It's been stressful. It's been blessed. It's been entertaining.
Wow.
Full of knowledge, wisdom, understanding, and a bunch of things I won't do again, but I don't regret it.
That's what's up. Hey, that's what maturity is all about, man. You live and you learn. So,
how was your last week? You weren't here. You was out vacation.
Yeah, last weekend I went to Indianapolis to visit family. I hope my cousins are checking in. Cindy, Monica,
you sure
Angie.
In Indianapolis?
Yeah, I promise you I was. I promise
you went at the Bunny House. That's what they said. Is it just at the Bunny House?
No, I know who said that. The Bunny Ranch. No, I know who said that. Wait a minute.
How do I get home here? Good evening, Lane Pugh. How do I get home here?
Now she want to check in on your live feed.
Yeah,
really?
That's what she want to do.
Wow, dig that. And I'm having a problem with my live. She just keeps saying live, starting live video, so I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, we're adding her on. She's gonna get here sooner or later.
Whatever, man. I ain't gonna hold my breath waiting on her.
Absolutely. Wait a minute, she's in the bed.
I was not feeling good up in the bed.
Okay, so why didn't you tell me that though when I text you at 9:50 this morning?
Because I've been in the bed all week.
She has been in the bed all week. But I was trying to get out of it.
I texted you specifically to ask if we were doing the show tonight. Specifically.
What I said is that
yes, the show is still going on.
You said something. I don't know, but I just said okay.
Check your messages. Check your messages. Check your messages. It's on your messages. Because I just looked at mine. Yeah, I know. I figured as much. Don't worry about it. You know, my foot ain't got that far to travel to get to you. So, to where it needs to be.
Jokes. What is that you drinking?
I was drinking some water.
Yeah, whatever.
She looks so pitiful.
I don't look pitiful. I just look tired.
You do look tired. I think we need to make some phone calls to the petitioners.
I have restless sleep. My shoulder hurts. My head hurts.
Well, you stay over there. Now we got some big shoes to fill. You not here. You not here. Chris not here.
Chris said he was a client, but he had the Bunny Ranch.
That's where he was at last week.
No, that's not where I was at last week. Not at all. Not at all.
Tim said Christine cannot be on time for anything.
Tim, I am not late. I'm not coming. I'm not feeling well. I'm a little under the weather.
Okay, answer this. When was the last time you were on time for this show?
When was the last time I what?
Was on time. Yeah. That's just what I thought. Thanks.
Well, you know what? Y'all go get up off my cousin, my favorite worthy matron. She's always on time.
You know,
she's on time. The show don't start until she show up.
Well, then she ain't showing up. So what you saying? We ain't got no show. We might as well just go ahead, pack it up, and leave now.
She's already here.
I don't know what's going on with my live feed, y'all. I can't get on. I hate this because after all,
I'm right here on camera, so I'm there.
Technically, you're not. Stop it.
Hey, Tracy Dennis, I am there. I'm just doing it from the comfort of my bed.
I wish I could do it from the comfort of my bed.
What's the topic?
You give us the topic. The topic from the bed. Bedroom talk. Pillow talk.
People in the lives they tell.
Oh boy.
Nasty bedroom Thursdays.
So how was the bunny last week?
I don't know. I wasn't there.
I asked him how was the bunny last week.
bedroom Thursdays.
Nasty bedroom Thursdays.
Anyway, man, I'm not nobody trying to hear that garbage, man. I'm tired of you, Chris. I swear.
Chris, he's mad because you're not here.
He'll be all right.
Yeah, we gonna fight, man.
He'll be all right. So, what do you guys think about Chance the Rapper endorsing Tony Perwinkle today, or Tony Lightwinkle today?
That's his choice, man. That's his choice. He can do whatever he wants to.
He didn't have a choice. His daddy is working on Perwinkle's campaign.
Oh, she just needed the money.
That's his mom and daddy friend.
So yeah, he really didn't have a choice.
Right, he didn't have a
He
choice.
didn't have a choice.
Didn't have a choice.
No. Hey, Nino, everybody.
After all of this, after all I went through to get this live video feed to work, and it still ain't working. I'm sorry,
What's wrong with
Facebook
it?
friends. I don't know. It just keeps doing this. I can't get it to go live.
What's wrong with your connection?
I don't know.
He can't use the Cricket mobile phone.
Come out and come back in.
Christina, you using black
You know how you
magic.
go back out and then slide right back in? That's how you got to do
Let me
it.
see
Go
if I
back
can
out
do it
and slide
again.
back in.
Maybe if I restart my phone. Y'all give me a few minutes. We're gonna keep talking until I restart my phone.
You
Hopefully
got
that'll
Cricket
work.
for real? You want to see it? You can
Christina
see
just doing that because she is a cricket. Nah, that's all she's saying that. They named that after you.
Oh, you got on your bright orange. You look so cute.
Huh? Thanks.
You look so cute.
You know what? No amount of buttering me up is going to work tonight. All right, because this is the second time this can happen, man. And last time it happened, I was the only one in here. Talk about somebody as nervous as a hook in a church.
Hey, cousin Freddie.
I miss you like I miss warts. Now, how about that?
He missed warts. They always go to it. Hey.
Yeah, so that just lets you know he's telling on himself. Hey, I see Tion Dean on here. How you doing?
Okay.
What's
let
wrong
me
with your phone?
I don't know. I have no idea. You know, last week, last few weeks, what happened was I had my live feed where only people in a certain group could see it. So my son changed that today, and everything was supposed to be all right, but obviously it's not. So
That's what Cricket? A Boost Mobile?
you want to start too?
No, I'm just asking a question.
I'm just asking too. You want to start too?
No. Hey, nephew. I need to add you on here too. How do I add you?
Hey, LaChapelle.
Okay, I'm about to add them on here.
Can they see me when I'm talking to you?
Yeah.
Hey, Karen. Oh, you can get on Facebook Live.
Okay.
You can't call nobody back.
Okay.
That's Sister Grubs.
All right, y'all. I'm on now. I think I'm on. All right. I think I got it. So
Hey,
anyway,
Sister Grubs.
IntellectualRadio.com.
as I was telling Tasha before we were so rudely interrupted, I was in Indianapolis last week hanging out with family. Had a great time.
I'm doing it live from the bed today.
That don't make no sense. Love you too, Karen. I'm sorry, Sister Grubs.
I'm all comfortable. I'm in the bed. But I'm still here. Hi, people.
She's so spoiled.
Y'all want to see my pretty dog, Mouse? Come here, Mousey. Say hi. Say hi. You just say hi. Did you say
He want a hamburger.
He's so pretty. Aren't you such a pretty boy?
Tracy, what's up, bro? My man Tracy, Class 86, Morgan Park, checking in. Tracy is running for congressman, man. Hey, bro, I'm gonna let you know I support you. Sorry I missed your call last weekend, but I was out of town, man. So I know you called me.
When
I
you
was out of
you
town,
don't
man.
call
So
people back either.
I was hanging with the family, man. Look,
You
I'm
was
in
tied
town
up?
for a while now. So look, let's touch down, man, sooner rather than later. Nicole, what's going on, mama? Class
He
88.
was out of town being tied up.
Class 87 in the house. Nicole Tillman checking in. Nicole Tillman Lynch, I'm sorry. What's going on, y'all? Tracy, as a matter of fact, after I get out of therapy tomorrow, I'll give you a call probably about 11:30, 12 o'clock. All right.
That's only if his Cricket Mobile is working, Tracy.
I thought it was Boost Mobile.
If I was Christina, I could ride my broom to wherever I needed to go and be there in the blink of an eye. You know what I'm saying? But I don't have those powers.
At least I can get around.
Yeah, I know. 1 foot, no foot, it don't matter. As long as that broom works.
Whatever.
Nah, I know.
But you used the broom last week though.
No, I didn't. I drove a car.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I drove a truck.
With the
man.
room in it?
No, I ain't had no broom.
Okay.
I ain't had no broom. You looking good tonight, Shorty. I'm
Thank
just let you know
you.
that. Yeah, I'm checking. I'm not. Why don't you stay your sick behind over there? All right, infect the dog. All right, get the dog sick or something. Okay.
That's a deal. We don't infect the dogs.
I'm saying, man. You know, like I said, you can keep that over there where you at, man. And don't think I'm playing around. When I see you, it's gonna be a fight, Shorty. For real.
Y'all got a lot of background noise.
Because we got you on audio.
Oh,
So we
it's like a ding ding and some kind of sound. Maybe it's just my ears.
Yeah, that's what it is. Them bad ears you got. You know, you can hear what's going on.
he is really upset with you because you're not here. You gonna
in
get up off
Iowa.
my worthy matron. Cause you gonna get up off her.
Tell her to come get me up off of her now.
Matter of fact, we gonna get Karen on you. She the thug.
Uh-uh.
Thug life.
Okay.
He don't want Karen, do he?
Not at all.
Karen will come at you.
I'm not really worried about it.
Nobody's thinking about having this foolery.
Nicole said, "Get up off my sis." Nicole, she started with me, all right. And if you know anything about me, you know I'm not a starter, but I will finish. That's all
that's
you
what
need to
you're
know.
not a starter, but you're
I'm
finished.
not a starter, but I will finish. That's how I've been my whole life.
So tell us about how you finished at the Bunny Ranch.
I don't know how, because I ain't never been to the Bunny Ranch. So I ain't never been to Nevada. How about that? Let alone the Bunny Ranch. That's all I can tell you about the Bunny Ranch. As Chris started that mess last week, last week before last. No, last week, because I was here week before last. So that's Chris starting that. And that's where he at. So y'all talk to him about that, because I ain't got nothing to do with that.
So y'all just switch turns. Y'all take turns?
I didn't take turns doing nothing.
Okay. That's what they say.
Like I said, Cindy, Monica, Angie, Robin, Kelly, y'all check in and let these people know where I was at last weekend. I was in Indianapolis visiting my cousins. We hung out all weekend, had a ball down there, and they're supposed to be coming up at the end of next month. So I can't wait till they come up. Too bad they can't get here Thursday, because I still have them on the show.
Jesse had an alibi. You learned from him?
Jesse who?
Jesse
James?
He had the alibi. Like when they was trying to hang him. They was trying to lynch him. He had an alibi.
So how about this crazy weather, y'all? Y'all see this? You know what I'm saying? It's been nice all week, raining them this morning, and all that madness. And
it is an echo.
It's supposed to be nice tomorrow, so I can't wait for tomorrow too.
So what are we gonna talk about besides the crazy mayoral race and Chance the Rapper endorsing Live Eco?
You know what?
You had the young man in Zion, Illinois, come up missing.
Yeah, and his mother's on TV, and they got blood on the door, but they don't even know if it's his or not.
Right, that's just crazy.
It is. I wanted to talk to you about.
He's an active military person.
Oh, is he? I didn't know that.
Active. He's not a veteran. He was active.
Well, he only 22 or something like that. Ain't he 21, 22?
How did he come on missing?
They said he called the police and then hung up, and I guess they sent somebody out to the house and they found slight spotches of blood on the door, and that was it. No trace of him, and his phone was cut off, so they can't trace him or anything like that. So I just heard that this morning. I was watching the news, so that's all they have. And they had his mom talking about she just want him home because it's been too long. Yeah.
I don't even know what somebody said.
I do too.
He looked like he got a little sugar in his tank. So,
So another Jesse story, huh?
Yeah, I suspect that it's foul play. I hope not. He's a very handsome young man, but...
Yeah, but for him to be disappeared and his phone cut off and they found blood on the door, that don't sound good.
Oh, he called her baby bed. Why in a baby bed? Oh my goodness. Malachi.
Don't you start with me, Malachi. This is a California king. My bed is huge.
I'm trying to wait for her to move out the house so I can move in. So no, it's not a baby bed.
Nicole said, to be honest, neither candidates are good ones for mayor. Thank God I do not live in the city of Chicago. It's just a matter of picking the lesser of two evils, to be honest, man. Man, me too. Me too.
Live Eco is gonna come up with a whole bunch of new taxes and everything, but for the people that live in the suburbs, we do know that she's trying to, because I guess Ron was trying to implement that commuter tax for the people that live in the suburbs.
You said the commuter tax?
Yeah, for people that don't live in the city, they had to pay an extra tax for working in the city or something like that. Is that what you talking about, Chris? Yeah, something like that. I heard.
Wait a minute. So you work if you work in the city, it's gonna be another tax.
Yeah.
Just like you work in Indiana,
Yeah.
it's another tax.
Yeah.
Mm.
Something like that.
Hey, Chanel.
It's called a commuter tax that they're trying to implement.
Yeah.
A commuter tax.
Yeah, I heard a little bit about that. I wanted to touch base on a couple of things that I learned in the last week and a half.
Who? Minister Webster. You did not call Sister Pugh to go check on her.
I thought she was gonna stay in the house, because she wasn't feeling good. I heard she was running the streets. I could have had her go downtown and do what I needed her to do.
Are you serious?
Yeah. She didn't even call to check on me.
No, ain't no hey, Chris. No. Mm-mm.
That's what I'm saying.
Well, I'm gonna say you expect the phone call at 3 a.m. Matter of fact, meet me on 83rd and State Street with some Krispy Kremes at 3:30 in the morning.
Wow.
She said, "Chris is no, that's Malachi. Chris is still bright in the dark."
Are you wearing glasses, Chris?
Yeah, she got glasses right here.
I just thought it was just the big bug eyes. I didn't know. I can't see from way over here. I don't know why you need glasses. You know you got eyes like an eagle.
So, yeah, I just feel like the citizens of Chicago is going to be in a lot of trouble with all the things that if light ain't gonna get in, if light would get in, the closed down schools are already being used for basketball gyms for the police anyway, but she wants to turn them into little academies so people won't have to go, where is that, right behind where we go to water, that is the police academy.
I'm gonna run for mayor.
Whatever that next thing is, but it's like they damned if they do, damned if they don't.
Mm-hmm.
I think the city of Chicago is going to lose a lot of residents. The state of Illinois has already lost a
Hey, Star.
Yeah.
Hey, Star.
I'm not gonna lie, I even want to leave the state of Illinois.
Oh yeah, definitely. Definitely.
Well, you can't leave for about the next 10 years.
The property tax sucks.
The cost of living.
The state of Illinois right now sucks.
Yeah, it's a
That's
really
especially with the cost
oppressive
of
state
living.
to be in. It's really oppressive because it's like you're being held down. If you make more money, then you got to pay more, and it's almost like the rich are getting richer, or everybody
And the
got
poor
their
getting poor.
they got their hand out trying to figure out how they get a piece of the pie, or a bigger piece of the pie. And it's just a lot of garbage, man. And that's what I'm really disenfranchised with my hometown. And I love going to hang and visit downtown, but I'm tired of living here. I ain't gonna lie to you. So, like I
That's
said
why you
before,
go visit the Bunny Ranch every other week.
not at all. If I was visiting every other week, I'd live out there. You know what I'm saying? I need to live out there, and I'd fly back and forth because I ain't got it like that. But I ain't gonna lie to you. Like I said, Arizona calling me. Arizona calling me. So either Arizona or Atlanta. I'm not sure.
All these people that work for the city of Chicago, will they even have a pension?
Exactly. Exactly.
Did they ever fix CTA pension? I know their pension was off for a couple of years.
The CTA is messed up. The Chicago teachers' pension is all jacked up because of promises made by Rahm Emanuel 5-6 years ago. Yeah, it's terrible, man. Gas prices too high too, Nicole. You absolutely right. I couldn't believe it. It was like last week. Gas was $2.55, and then all of a sudden it's $2.89 in a matter of like 2-3 days.
$2.99 this morning. I had to use my 3-cent discount from Food for Less.
Man, come
get some
on,
gas.
man. It's too much.
Hey, cousin Rashawn.
So much mismanagement of money for the state of Illinois and for the city of Chicago.
Most definitely for the state and most definitely for Chicago. Chicago is the lifeline for the entire state of Illinois. So everything pretty much going to flow through Chicago somehow, some way. And for Chicago to be as crooked as it is, of course, you can't help but know that the state itself is messed up too because of what's going on in Chicago. And there's no signs of it getting better. And that's the sad problem we deal with, especially living in the city. You know what I'm saying? I mean, everybody has their own agenda, and you just wonder how much of their agenda actually involves making the city better, making things better for everybody, instead of, like I said, just seeing how much money that I could get in my pocket, make my pocket fat, or put myself in a position for a bigger pay raise or a bigger position after I'm done being mayor, alderman, or whatever the case may be. You know what I'm saying? And it's, it's sad, man. It's you can't trust politicians. Not to say that you ever could, but now that of course, we voting age and stuff like that, I realize that now more so than I ever did before. So,
I think policy just pretty
Sony,
much
how
what
are
you're
you,
gonna do for
sweetheart?
me, I'm gonna do for you.
Yeah. Well, yeah. One hand washes the other, most
Demetria.
definitely. I think I said this before. Like, if you look at what Daley did right before he left office, he signed a 99-year contract for those parking meters. Who does that? You know what I'm saying? And I know those people came to him like, hey, man, look, if we set to make 100 million, we'll give you 15 million. And he was like, all right, run that cash. And that's what he did, because ain't nowhere in the world you would sign a 99-year lease for parking meters for the city of Chicago, unless you was getting something off the top of it.
China has it where nobody in China owns where they live. They have to sign a 99-year lease. So they don't own it. So
In China?
in China, they don't own their property. They have to sign leases. They
Wow.
have to sign 99-year leases. They don't own their stuff.
That's deep.
Wow.
The regime is who owns it, but the people don't own it.
Wow, that's crazy.
And I thought that was the most ludicrous thing I ever heard.
Because it is.
I mean, was it Daily or Ron who signed that?
For the lease, for the parking meters?
Daily.
Yeah, Daily. That was the last thing he did before he left off, before he slid out.
But have you noticed that JB hasn't made any noise?
You know what? I saw him, he was downstate looking at the floods. You talking about the governor, right?
Yeah, he hasn't made no noise since he got in office.
Yeah, he was downstate.
Still trying to figure out what Romer did when he was in office.
Well,
Nothing.
yeah, Ronna didn't do
They
nothing.
show up.
Ronna didn't do nothing. That's more than obvious. You know what I'm saying? That's why he didn't get reelected. Because first of all, we went a year and a half, 2 years without a budget, like that was supposed to be okay. Then you still trying to, basically screw people out of stuff left and right just to make it better for the rich who already had theirs. No, it was enough people that had enough with
That dude just looked like
Ronna.
Rick James that walked
He
past.
surely did.
We got Rick James in the building, y'all.
But
You look like Rick James.
I apparently so. You done it. But yeah, it's just too much going on, man. I need to get out of town, and so as soon as my youngest graduates from high school, I said before, whatever direction he going in, I'm going in the opposite direction, and we'll meet in the middle somewhere. So you go ahead, get your education, son.
You're not going nowhere.
Huh?
I don't know why y'all trying to go somewhere. You're not. Yeah, I got 10 years to go somewhere.
No, I got
5.
technically I have 7, but I'm trying to break it down to the next 3.5, 4. That's what I want to do. 3.5, 4 years.
They both dropped out of USC.
Who?
Lori Loughlin's daughters.
Yeah, well, yeah, because she bought their way in.
Yeah, but they dropped out. I mean, apparently they were keeping their grades and stuff up, even if she did buy their way in. But they dropped out because one of them is just so distraught.
Hey, Angie.
Well, distraught about what?
Because her mother got arrested for being part of that scam where people paid for their kids to get into these
But they knew
top
what they
colleges.
was doing.
Well, the kids probably didn't know.
I'm pretty sure they did.
If they knew, then there wouldn't be no reason for them to drop out. That's why I'm gonna give them the benefit of the doubt and say they
I would just
didn't
say it
know.
was a form of embarrassment.
Yeah, it is. It's definitely embarrassing.
They said that when they said that they were going there, they were like, man, how did they get in USC?
Right.
I guess they weren't the brightest group of young ladies.
Yeah.
They weren't the brightest ladies, you know.
Yeah, I can see that.
Friends were saying, how did they get in there?
Huh?
Money talks, BS walk.
All the time.
Money can buy you anything in the world.
All the time.
Yeah, and Lori Loughlin, she had $1 million bond.
Yeah. Well, she deep in it, man. That's her problem. She probably gonna be the one that catches the worst out of everybody because she's so deep into it.
I think R. Kelly is plugged, because he didn't even get charged for one of those accounts, that they tried to. They said because it was past his the time frame that they can charge him for it.
Oh, really?
So
I
one of
don't
the
know.
cases been dropped
Hey,
already.
Alicia, what's going on, Mama? Thanks for checking in.
That they are really going after the legacies of a lot of African American men that have done something for this society, whether it be through music, whether it be through television. You done took down Bill Cosby.
Yeah.
Basically,
Michael Jackson.
Michael Jackson been dead. It'll be
10 years. Yeah.
And then they're trying to raise him up.
coming after his legacy. Now I wouldn't be surprised if they dig up something on Marvin Gaye, James Brown.
Everybody.
Prince.
Yeah. Everybody.
I wouldn't be surprised. Ray Charles, if they come back and try to mess up their legacy.
Well, they did while they were alive. You know what I'm saying? I mean, remember when Marvin Gaye died, it was the whole, he was high. And this, then the third, for a long time, they didn't know if he actually attacked his father and all of that stuff. It wasn't until probably maybe about.
Tell you about the sexual things that the father from Brady Bunch did.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
They don't tell you about the stuff.
Hey, Greg.
Yeah.
that Clark Gable did.
They downplay all of that stuff. They sweep that stuff under the rug.
They say all of that.
Yeah.
But they come in and as a race, we need to be cautious instead of jumping on white America's bandwagon.
Yeah.
Because they're tearing down our legacy. I wouldn't be surprised if they come up with something from Malcolm X to Martin Luther King.
I mean, but you got everyday people tearing down everybody's legacy. They even tearing down your household and communities.
Martin Luther King been there for 50 years and he's still a threat.
Pretty
Yeah.
much. Yeah.
So it's about, people, races stand together and working together. And it's just so unfortunate. If R. Kelly did wrong, so be it. But I still think it was their mom and daddy pimping them out.
I agree.
And until he couldn't take care of them no more, now all of a sudden they coming forward.
Well,
That's
yeah.
what he said in his record.
Even though their mother and father did it to them, they still were young girls, and still R. Kelly should have had sense enough to say,
No, right.
Well, R.
Right.
Kelly don't have no sense. You can listen to his music and tell he don't have no sense. Talented, but he just didn't have no sense. He was just acting out his past, I think.
his songs told you everything he was doing.
Everything.
Keep it on the down low.
Age ain't nothing but a number. 12 play. How many babies got made on 12 play?
Angie B, what's going on, Mama?
Yeah. They talked about the package.
Right. He told everybody what he was doing.
Everything.
But people just listen to the music like, that's it. When he got caught, he got the charges was dropped. He came out with ignition.
Right.
Ignition means to start. So he started over. And he still got some chicks with him.
They ain't going nowhere.
Yeah, his girlfriends are staying loyal. So, he got 2 girlfriends, right?
He got about 50 of them. 8, old, young.
Wow.
See, he didn't have to buy them no pizza puff and french fries with mild sauce with the. He didn't have to do all that. He had to do that short, but just put them on the record.
Well, again, it don't make no sense. Andrea Kelly, I'm extremely disappointed in her because you went on national TV some years ago when he was going through the first child trial and said he didn't do those things. Now you come back this time and say he did do those things. And then you get a lump sum of $162 million or $162,000 for child support.
Yeah.
Wow. How many kids do R. Kelly have anyway?
I think. Yeah.
But you just locked him up for child support.
Right. Well, yeah, because they divorced probably about.
I believe the kids are pretty much grown.
They are, because I know one of my old coworkers, her daughter used to go to high school with his daughter. So I know they like 21, 22, somewhere in that area. So
that's crazy.
It's a sad state we living in, man. There's a lot going on that has no explanation, or the explanation just don't make no sense. I didn't even know he had a son.
I know I just thought he had all girls. We know Chris know everybody.
I think it's 2 girls and a boy.
How old is his son?
Like 22, 23, I believe.
Well, then they can't all be the same age, then. All by the same person. I mean, somebody trying to call you.
Mm-hmm.
That's why R. Kelly don't talk. You still gotta love your kids. I mean, look at Magic Johnson's son.
Yeah.
That little boy is crazy.
Way out there.
Yeah.
He's way out, but he can dress though. I seen one outfit he had. I'm like, ooh wee.
Well, I mean, look who his father is. He got money, so.
Shoot, he sure know what's dressing.
Man, he can go out there and be fabulous every day.
Fabulous and fierce.
There you go.
Now, what was on your man earlier today?
I can't even remember now.
A man is a terrible thing in the way.
Yeah, he sure is, man. I know. Thank you for reminding me. If y'all been paying attention to the news the last couple of weeks, we had a young man get killed out at a strip club out in Harvey.
That was the police officer's son. Right?
I knew him. He was with me about 8-9 years ago at my job. Good kid, man, and gone way too soon. He was 25 years old, but messed up. And then the 2-year-old that just died from child abuse. I know the young man responsible for that too. He was with me about 6-7 years ago. So it's been a rough week for me. You know what I'm saying? Beyond, hanging out with my family down in Indianapolis, just messed up going through that. These kids that I had at one point, and just, gone one way or the other, just way too soon. So just, kind of trying to wrap my mind around that, and understand, hey, that's the way life is sometimes. So, you got to take the good with the bad. So.
Did they have his funeral already?
I believe so. Yeah, I believe so.
I seen his girlfriend on the news, and she really had it.
Yeah, I know he had a daughter, because when he was locked up with us, he used to talk about his daughter all the time, and what a struggle he had. He's a little banger, but what a struggle he had trying to go see his daughter where they lived and stuff like that. And I used to talk to him about, hey man, if you want to go see your daughter, then maybe you should change your lifestyle. And I think he kind of agreed with me, you know what I'm saying, at least to some extent. But once he left, I lost contact with him. I didn't even know what he was doing until week before last when I heard he had, the unfortunate incident at the strip club. So
You still have no one in custody, right?
I don't think so, but I think they know who they're looking for. So it's just a matter of finding them. I don't know.
Are you emotional right now?
No.
Like, don't cry because we don't have no tissue.
No.
Chris is getting emotional.
I'm not gonna do that. You know what I'm saying? Like I said,
like he's really getting emotional.
It's just, again, when you see these kids, again, same thing I went through with Laquan and all of them, you see these kids, you touch base with them and you get to know them outside of the street level that they on, beyond the street level that they on, and then for, these incidents to happen to them, man, to an extent, it make you question, am I doing enough? You know what I'm saying? Did I say the right things to these cats?
So what do you think this actually can change the gun violence, that can change the mindset of these kids?
If these kids had something else to do, they, idle mind is the devil's workshop, as my mother always says. So, when they have a few minutes to themselves, of course they fall for the first thing somebody come up with. Hey man, let's go, rob the Walgreens. Let's go knock over this gas station, the liquor store. Let's go knock this old lady upside the head. They go for it all the time instead of finding something more productive to do. They go for whatever their friends going for, because if nothing else, they don't want to be looked at as scared or as soft or being a punk, which might cause them to get beat up or even worse somewhere down the line. If your homies can't depend on you, then they'll get rid of you, because that's the day and age we live in. So, I mean, I've met most of the kids I ran into, man, that have just been products of their environment. Not so much as this is all they knew, but hey man, look, they was here, I was here, so I just rolled with them. We had a kid, great basketball player, Chris. He had an opportunity to go to Morgan Park too, but he didn't. And riding around with a bunch of his friends looking for some other gangbanger, and ended up getting shot in the wrist by the police and had this bullet halfway out his wrist for about 6-7 months because he was with us about 9 or 10 months. This is a young man that his first name is DeAndre, but long story short, the bullet fell out while he was with us, but he got out and he ended up doing something, and now he back in jail again. You know what I'm saying? Great basketball player, about 6'3", 6'4", had all the talent in the world, but decided to hang with, you know what I'm saying, the wrong crowd, and now the rest of his life is messed up behind it, you know. And every time we talk, it was like, man, look, dude, you can get out and do A, B, C. Yeah, I know, but it was cool while I was talking to him for those 7, 8, 9 months, but when he got out there on his own, what I said didn't mean little or nothing because it was what was going on right then and right there.
They gotta want it.
Yeah, definitely.
They have to want it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, you can actually have a great parent. You can have a great. Well, I ain't gonna say every household is great, right? So let's say that you have a child that's like well behaved, well mannered, or whatever. You brought them in a good neighborhood, go to school, provide the things that they want them, and there for them emotionally. But you may want your child to go down one road, but if they don't want it, you can't force them. You can't
force them to, right? Exactly. We had a young man some years ago. We sitting watching the NBA draft, and as soon as they announced Anthony Davis's name, when Anthony Davis got drafted, he jumped up hollering, "Man, I used to play ball with him." I was like, and here he is, the number one pick in the NBA draft, and you are here. I said, so what's wrong with this picture, man? And again, another kid, talented, had all the talent in the world, but decided to hang out with the wrong crowd. And he ended up having to give, you know what I'm saying, time back to society. So that was some years ago. I don't know where he is now. I hope he's doing well. But, you know, like I said, you talk to these kids till you blue in the face. You can talk to them all day, every day, and they know everything you're saying is right. But,
they just gotta want it.
Man, as soon as they get out there and get back in that element, everything they heard and believe goes away. So I think we need to answer your question, Tasha. We need some kind of follow-up, some kind of program or something where these kids can come and check in and sit down, you know what I'm saying, on a weekly basis. And if we had people that could go out and go see these kids and keep them on the straight and narrow, you know, maybe we could reduce some of the violence and some of the simple-minded actions that we have going on. But until then, hey, man, look, it's quick, it's easy, and this is all I'm going to do. I'm not going to strive for anything more. Everything else takes too much time. So I'm going to just, you know, if it's all I got to do is point a gun in somebody's face, then I'm going to do that. Hopefully I don't have to pull the trigger, but push come to shove, then, hey, I ain't got no problem doing that too. That's a lot of these kids' mentalities, you know?
I think some of the times that they pull the bullet based off their emotions.
Yeah.
You know, It's just like they don't take the time out to think, and they're not thinking.
Rash is rash, you know, just instantaneous. Like, okay, I need to make this choice right now. So I tell them all the time, y'all don't think past the end of y'all nose. That's your problem. That's why y'all end up in most of the positions y'all in, because all you think about is right here, right now. You don't think about later on in the day, later on in the week, later on in the month. You just thinking, okay, well, look, I'm gonna go ahead and get this $100 pair of shoes, and I'm gonna sell them for 50, or I'm gonna sell them for 20, and then that's gonna be that.
40 seconds get you 40 years.
That's it.
40 seconds get you 40 years.
Every time out.
Actually, 2 seconds could get you a child for 18 years.
Oh, yeah.
It don't take much.
Yeah. I have plenty of kids that, you know, regretted what they did, hated what they did.
It took you 2 seconds to get a kid.
Huh?
It took you 2 seconds to get a kid.
No, I'm talking about the kid that I talked to. She real funny tonight. She on fire.
Sometimes it can take you 2 seconds to get a kid. You say, yeah, you gotta get. I got a lot of kids. I'm like,
well, no. I mean, it never took me 2 seconds for that.
Well, like she said, it's Thursday, nasty Thursday.
That was you, Tasha. That was you. I'm not gonna blame that on her.
That was the topic at the beginning of the conversation.
Yeah, 35 minutes ago, we talked about that.
It took you 35 minutes. 12 play. What was the first one?
How about this crazy weather, y'all? What's the temperature going to be tomorrow? It's going to be
warm. They said it's supposed to be 51 degrees today with sun and that light.
Well, the sun came out around 10 o'clock, I guess.
Well, not in Schaumburg.
Woodridge. I mean, yeah, Woodridge. When I was on my way to therapy, the sun was out.
You go to therapy every day?
Every other day.
Psychologist?
No, physical therapy.
You do what now? What?
Yeah, I gotta find somebody to go downstairs to get some ice cream.
Ain't nobody there but the dogs.
No, Megan's here, Dre here, Tony's here.
Aren't you sick?
It's about to be dark
I
out.
think you need tea or some medicine or something, not ice cream.
Oh, she needs fresh blood. It's about to be dark out, Chris. You could go on out there and fly around and look for your new victim. It's all good. Derek, what's up, bro?
I really need
A bell?
Yes, I can just ring the bell so somebody can come.
Anyway.
You probably got it on the side of the bed.
You know, I actually have one. The one I used at my wedding is in my closet.
No, check the side of the bed.
Huh?
Check the side of the bed.
No, it's in the closet. I know where it's at.
And do you think cousin is gonna get up when you hear that bell?
Somebody will.
Okay. Let me know how that works out for you.
Somebody will. Somebody will.
Whatever.
Well, we'll have Wendy or Corbiana bring you some tea.
No, I don't want any more tea. I'm tired of tea.
You need something. I don't think ice cream is gonna heal you.
Chocolate wine.
What you say?
I'm gonna bring me some chocolate wine.
Will do.
I drank my bottle up the other day.
Such an alcoholic.
It's like really no wine in it. It's just chocolate.
Just chocolate, huh?
Yeah. Don't even give you a buzz. That's how low content the alcohol is. Hey Renee, how you doing? You going to Shalonda's birthday party tonight?
That's why you sick, huh?
Huh?
You gotta get well. We gotta go.
No.
We gotta go support.
No, gonna be right here. The party gonna be right here in my bed.
TMI.
Well, alrighty then.
I'm saying me sleeping.
Whatever.
With the ice cream. With the ice cream and the chocolate wine.
Right.
What a
Right.
combination.
Right.
Party in the bed
And
with
you
the ice
sick.
cream and the chocolate wine
You're sick, as she said.
on Nasty Thursday.
Another coincidence.
With the bells. With the bells.
I gotta get up and go in the closet.
Oh, now we're trapped in the closet with some ice cream with the bells and the chocolate
10-4.
wine.
You're telling on yourself. You're telling on yourself. Stop it now.
Mm-mm.
Y'all need to get y'all mind out the gutter.
You
What?
said it
You
there.
said it.
We just going off what you said.
I'm gonna pray for y'all.
Pray
That's
for
what
yourself.
Wendy's for.
You're going to need the flexibility, I'm sure.
Oh, now you want the flexibility
I'm
with the
just
ice
saying.
cream, with the chocolate and the bells. Trapped in the closet. We need to get that to R. Kelly.
Y'all mind is just all over the place, I see.
All right, get you some rest. Love you. Talk to you soon.
All right.
All right, bye-bye.
See you, shorty.
Merry New Year.
Don't forget I owe you a foot to your backside.
Whatever.
Yeah.
So much love.
You didn't lie. That ain't the first time I was threatened with that.
That's all right.
You get threatened every day, mentally. Everybody want to threaten you.
Right. Like, you didn't lie.
Whether they speak it or whether they think it. Somebody's threatening you every day.
All right?
You need to leave the people alone. You got the children upstairs. All right, bye-bye. Love you.
All right.
Love you too. Bye.
I'll get out of
Who
here.
goes there? I need some. Is that you, Dre? I need some ice cream in
Tap
my
on the
life.
picture, I think.
Where you going?
Yeah.
There she go. Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
So how long have you been in the field that you was in and dealing with all those kids that's coming back and forth into the jail, and you got to give them direction and wisdom and knowledge and understanding? How do you deal with that?
It'll be 13 years, April 6th. 13 years. The crazy thing is the recidivism rate is super, super high. But you just keep talking. To be honest, all you could do is keep talking. The crazy thing is a good chunk of the kids, they get what you're saying, and they hold on to it. Overall, if I had to put a percentage on it, I'd say maybe about, crazy as it may sound, about 40-45% of them come back.
Wow.
And that's almost half, you know what I'm saying? And
So have you guys ever actually did a study to find out why they come back? Like maybe it could be like a broken household, or maybe the dad was, or even the mom in and out the prison and things of that nature.
well,
What do you think actually keeps them coming back?
Because it is the environment for the most part. We haven't done a study, but I'm pretty sure somebody has somewhere. But we just, we talk to the kids since we deal with them, person to person. And what happened this time, man? Why are you back? That's the number one question. Why are you back? Man, got caught up in the situation, man. I had to do blah, 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 man. I had to, and you try and give them all types of avenues. You try and give them different ways that they could turn if they ever get into a situation. A lot of the kids don't follow through. That's what it is. Again, sad to say, in a lot of senses, these kids mentally are lazy. And if it's not laid right out there in front of them, then it's just like, oh man, I got to go all the way down on 63rd, but nigga, you on 68th. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, going down to 63rd is what? What's the problem? We don't understand. And they don't want to do it. If it's not laid out in front of them, if it's not laid right in their lap, they're not going to do it.
I am actually guilty of that, because I know when I was bringing up my daughter, I would not allow her to get on public transportation.
And I get that.
She did not get on public transportation, but when I was growing up, in order for me to get around, I had to get on public transportation.
We had to get around. Yeah, absolutely. I get
that 352 going down Halsted, I was on that bus.
Hey, I rode 352.
352, 349, taking us to the plaza. Evergreen Plaza was the spot.
Well, I rode it to work. My brother used to own a subway downtown. We lived in Cal City, so we'd have to take the.
Oh, so you've been a suburbanite all your life?
No. I grew up in the city, but when I came back from the military, my mother had moved to the suburbs. So I used to, for 2 years, I rode the 352 down to the red line, and rode the red line down to where did we get off? I forgot where we get off, and then we just walked down a couple of blocks to the subway. And on the way home, it was the same thing, you know what I'm saying? But in the evening, we could catch the bus. They took us straight to, down the street from the house. I forgot what bus that is, but the road on the expressway and all of that stuff. So
that was a long time ago.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, well, you ain't lying. That was a mighty long time ago, from 1990 to 1990, the middle of 1992. So yeah.
I know one of my actually, if I could be transparent, my dad has actually been in prison, let's say, for maybe 40. From 43, I want to say about 40 years,
really?
About 40, 42 years.
Okay.
But he kept going back. It's like he'd get out for a minute and go back, get out for a minute and go back.
Yeah.
So I'm going to ask him, I just really want to know, what made you want to go back? And he was a preacher's kid. My grandfather was a bishop, and I just want to know, what made you want to go back?
It's a lot of things. There's a lot of things that factor into that. I mean, some people get caught up in the lifestyle. Some people feel like, oh, this ain't for me, so I'm going to do this. They want to be just the opposite of the way they raise. They want to, they choose to. Not to say everybody does, because I don't know everybody's situation, but some of these kids, I mean, because I know plenty of people that had great upbringings, you know what I'm saying, family, whether it was a 2-parent household or not, and I just want to be a knucklehead. I just want to be a knucklehead. You know what I'm saying?
I can say that I could bring my daughter up in a great household, but what's great for us may not be great for the kid.
Exactly.
So I just want to know, what is the definition of great when it comes to bringing over in a household?
That's huge.
Is it, I don't want to have my child go through the struggles I went through. Oh, I want my child to have what I didn't have. So they go in and they dressing a child up, and I'm guilty of it.
Yeah.
My child never wanted for anything when it comes to like shoes. I mean, she had tons of shoes and probably still have tons of shoes now. But as I began to listen to her, I realized that she does have a voice. The matter that she does matter, her feelings does matter. Because I know I grew up and we didn't do what we wanted to do. We was do what we told
to do.
And we dare not ask why we had to do it.
Right. Oh, of course.
And with this generation, they're looking at, you have to do we're doing as you do and not doing as you say.
Exactly.
So that's the difference. And this generation, I believe, is bold. They have no respect for authority.
Over-opinionated. Yeah.
Oh, they have an opinion. And I think when they said you can't hit your child or call DCFS or we're going to take your kid, when they put that rule in and it got into the kids' head,
took off running with it. Kids took off running with it. Yeah, definitely.
And said, oh, you can't hit me. And then you got the parents that send the kids to the school as a daycare. Yeah. And then it's no structure. I understand that, parents get tired. We need our break, but we're losing our kids somewhere. Absolutely. So I want to know, where do we catch the gap?
But you know what? The thing is this, I think one of the biggest things is to be consistent. Parents have to be consistent. We talked about this before here. A lot of time parents want to be their kids' friends. And that's where they start to mess
Yeah.
up when, instead of me being the disciplinarian, being the one who, maintains order and gives you order, I'll ask you or I'll tell you, and then when you protest enough, all right, well, just go ahead. No, 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 no. I'm not going to, what I'm saying? Anybody, if my parents told me, and I grew up in a single family household too, but most of my parents said, anybody that ain't paying the bill ain't got no opinion. That was the
That's
way we
true.
would, you don't have an opinion. So until this says, this light bill or this phone bill or this gas bill say Dion watched on it, your opinion really don't mean nothing. And I had to be okay with that because again, they cook. You know what I'm saying? We were supposed to clean. We cleaned up after ourselves. We washed our clothes. But again, whenever I turn the TV on, whenever I turn the water on to take a shower, whenever I, what I'm saying, or when wanted to cook something for myself, it was already paid for. So again, they were providing the big things for me. And so I had to be, what I'm saying, learn to fall in line. And it didn't take me long to fall in line, me or my brothers and sisters.
I
So
think we were just pretty much forced to respect, to learn what respect
yeah.
is.
And
Now
these
these
kids
kids don't
don't. These
respect,
kids
and
don't.
it's so many kids I'm around now. It makes me get to wonder and thinking because they deal with depression, they deal with
Yeah.
suicide,
Yeah.
they deal with a lot of things, and you don't know what a child is going through because every household is
Yeah,
different.
exactly.
So I have an awesome man by the name, my nephew, Liam, and that in this generation is like not only is he's cold, but he's respectful.
Right.
You know what I
Right.
mean? And the mindset that he does have is kind of like strange to a degree
Because it's so unusual in this day and
exactly in this
age.
day and
Yeah.
age. But then you have the 20-year-olds that pretty much like, hey, they want to do self-pity parties. Or they
Mhm.
feel like you owe me something.
Right.
But then again, you got some of these old 50-year-old men thinking that you owe them something and still living in your mama basement.
Absolutely
But
insane.
that's neither
man.
here or there. But I just want to know, how do we bridge the gaps when it comes to this generation?
And that's a great question, and I'm pretty sure if you were to put that to a general vote or a general poll, you probably come up with some beautiful answers. It's just nobody's addressing that. You know what I'm saying? That's part of the problem as well. Ain't nobody saying, oh, well, we need to get down and sit and talk with these young people to get them to do ABC or this, that, and the third. Ain't nobody doing that. You know what I'm saying? Because again, with all the day and ages we live in, and we live in a day and age of, man, that's your problem, not mine. You know what I'm saying? And
Right, I'm not going to even touch that. That's your
right, you know what I'm
household.
saying? Hey, man, look, you raise them where you want them to be raised. I raise my kids different and this, that, and the third. And it's not about that, man. I mean, and I'm not saying, you should come to my house and tell me how to do stuff or vice versa. But I mean, if you have any suggestions, we should, as men and women, as adults and as parents, we should be open-minded enough to at least listen to what people have to say. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah, I think that's great, especially when it comes to about. It sounds like about to building the community, but I think that we need to listen to what the children need and put that get their opinion because it's them, it's their feelings.
Right.
I was taught growing up, you ain't got no feelings. Your feelings don't matter.
Right.
Get your butt over there and sit down somewhere.
Yeah, pretty much that's what it was. And I mean,
curfew. I mean, you got too many people not dealing with curfews, and then
kids
you put your kid on punishment, you beat them
a
a couple of times, or take the cell phones or whatever. They'll still find a way.
Or man, I mean, I've had plenty of kids, young men tell me, man, I wish my mother would take myself. I wish she would do this, that, and the third. And I was just like, wow, and y'all still got teeth in y'all mouth? Y'all still able to, do stuff, man? Because I know my mother, man, wasn't having none of that, you know what I'm saying? And especially, when her and my father divorced, she had to be tough on us because it was real easy for us to, go off the wrong way. So she had to be tough on us. And while we didn't appreciate it at the time, most definitely we appreciate it now. We overly appreciate the fact that she stood in our backs in a sense because it gave us enough discipline to stay on the right road. And not only that, but teach our own kids, right from wrong. And
what did you take from when your mom, raised you, your parents? What did you take from that upbringing and apply it into your own household?
To be honest, almost everything. You know what I'm saying? I don't whoop my kids like my mother used to whoop us, though. That's the truth. But with that being said, I don't have to. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we've had our, verbal disagreements, but my sons know, okay, look, I'm gonna go back and forth with you only for so far. Then after that, there is no more talking. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, your opinion really don't mean a whole lot. You gonna do it this way, period, point blank. And if you don't, that door locks from the inside, which means you can turn it and go out anytime you want to. Just don't look to come back. That's my whole demo. And if that's the case, if that's the route you choose to take, then understand the consequences, go with it. And my two oldest, my 25-year-old and my 19-year-old, they were the ones that were the most mouthy. They were the ones that, yeah, but all the time back and forth, and I stood my ground, you know what I'm saying? And so for the most part, it frustrated them to no end. But my oldest, he called my wife when he left for school. He called her back probably about 3 or 4 months after he had been down in Atlanta. And he said, man, I understand everything Dad was trying to tell me now. I get what he was trying to say now, which he wasn't getting before. And, you know, my 19-year-old, he's still dealing with some things. And we just had a conversation last week. And
no, that's not the one that you bring here all the time.
No, that's my youngest. That's the 15-year-old. And so my 19-year-old, I told him last week, I said, your problem is, man, you know, not that you don't have a valid point, but you don't know how to express your point. You want to come off as argumentative, and you want to debate all the time, and it's not about a debate. And I said, I've told all three of my sons this at one point in time.
You don't got no girls?
No, I have 3 boys.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, 3 boys.
You need a baby girl.
No.
You need a baby girl up in there.
I told my sons, look, I tell you what I tell you for a number of reasons. I said, but first and foremost, understand that I'm twice your age, or I'm 3 times your age.
What that mean?
That means that there's not a word that you will or can utter that I haven't uttered or heard uttered myself, which means I have more experience than you. So you can't tell me how to be 50. You can't.
That's true.
I can tell you how to be 15 3 times. I can tell you how to be 19 2.5 times. 2.5 times. I can tell you have to be 25 twice.
Hey, I didn't do it.
I'm just saying.
I promise you I didn't do it.
But I'm just saying this is what I tell my sons. Look, man, I've been where you've been. You're trying to get to where I am, not vice versa. And I even told my oldest son at one point, about almost 10 years ago, I said, man, if I was 17, I said I would run the whole city of Chicago. The whole city of Chicago, teenage-wise. If I was 17, because y'all just as blind and dumb as y'all
They're
can
just
be.
so blind.
You know
they have no clue. Don't want to listen. Think they know everything.
None.
And you don't know nothing. And listen for somebody that got experience.
And that's exactly why I tell them what I tell them. You know what I'm saying? And I asked him one time, I said, who told y'all were men? Where y'all get that from?
What is your definition of a man?
Well, a man, this is, and you're going to call my sons right now and ask them, and I told them all that a real man handles all responsibilities, A to Z, forward to backwards, upside down, inside out, from 1 to 1 million. Everything as a man you handle appropriately. And those that you can't handle appropriately, then you have to take a step back and ask for help. Be humble enough to ask for help. Now, that's just that's with everything that you do. But I'm saying being a man, again, means being humble. Knowing that you don't know it all, knowing that, you know what I'm saying, you might need some guidance, whether it comes from your dad, your uncle, or even from your wife or your girlfriend, or a lot of stuff I get from my mother. I get a lot of stuff from my mother.
Okay, let's dissect that a little bit. You say handle all responsibilities. What does responsibilities consist
Whatever
of?
your responsibilities are, bills, your children, what's going on in your house, what's going on in your personal life, what's going on in your professional life. You're responsible. You're responsible for being on time. You're responsible for dressing a certain kind of way. You're responsible for so many things that you got going on in your whatever it is. You have to handle all of them. That's what being a man is. In my opinion. Hey, Patricia, how are you?
And I think that's great. Now, just say they handle all the responsibilities. So just say you have a young man that's actually, who is this calling me? I can't talk to you right now. I got to call you back. Okay, so say if the young man is actually in the household, right? And the mother, father, whoever took care of everything, and you didn't have no responsibilities. So who teaches you how to take care of responsibilities? Who teach you how to pay the bills? Who teach you how to handle your children? I mean, you have some young boys around here. I know someone that's actually 16. No, he's 18 years old with 4 kids now.
Jeez.
3 baby mamas. So how do you teach them how to handle responsibilities?
Well, you really have to just sit down and verbalize what you're trying to get over to them. My cousin, who I was down in Indianapolis, we rode down together.
Study trying to plead the case about this Indiana.
My cousin had 10 children. Him and his girlfriend, now his wife, started having kids when they were 15 years old.
They still together?
15, yeah, still together. They've been married.
Congratulations. How did he do it?
They've been married now probably about Now they've been together 1,000 years, but they've been married probably about the last 13 years, 10, 13 years, somewhere in that area. And we talked all the way to Indianapolis, and he told me the whole story, some of it which I knew, but a gang of it I didn't know. And he was just like, man, he's like, man, that girl was good for me. And even though all the mess we went through and everything, I just stuck with her. And, again, even when I was thinking about leaving, every time I looked up, she was pregnant. So he's like, man, I can't walk out on my kids. I can't walk out on my responsibilities. You know what I'm saying?
So do you think a lot of people stay in relationships because of the responsibilities on the kids?
That's not a real good, solid reason to stay in a relationship. But I mean, if it works out for you that way, then hey, great. Then you did the right thing. A lot of people stay in relationships because of the kids, and they end up being miserable. We end up hating each other. You know what I'm saying? Somewhere down the line. So that's just a matter of if y'all want to be together. If y'all, you know what I'm saying, you seeing me, what I see in you, and all of those great things, then yeah, it's definitely gonna work out for you. But if it don't, then like I said, I'm gonna end up with a pillow on my face. You're gonna end up, you know what I'm saying, with, you know what I'm saying, nair in your hair wash, and then, in your shampoo, and then you got another reason to hate me, and we just become spiteful towards each other. So it's just a matter of the people in the situation. If they wanted to work out, it'll work out. And in my cousin's and his wife's case, it definitely worked out for him. I mean, again, I have 2 little cousins that passed away, but they still have 8 kids, you know what I'm saying? And then all the kids are doing great, you know what I'm saying? Everybody is responsible in their own sense, married with their own set of kids and stuff like that. And so, I mean, it's definitely a great thing when it works out for you. But again, we have to have that with each other. It's not just going to be me flooding you with it. It's not going to be you flooding me with it. It's got to be a mutual thing. And as far as, again, responsibilities, going back to our kids and stuff, I had something I was going to tell you, and I lost my train of thought as far as kids and responsibilities and such. Again, like I said, if you call my sons right now, they could probably quote it to you better than I can, because I just forgot what I was going to say. But
well, let me ask you this while you pondering that thought, what you're trying to recall. What is a man's job and what is a woman's job?
It's so much, man. I promise you, we could sit and talk the rest of the night, and I probably wouldn't cover half of it. No, I'm just saying, I probably wouldn't cover half of it. You have to have a mutual amount of respect for each other, because, like I said before, I don't know it all. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not even gonna pretend that I know it all. So where I fall short of where I don't know, you have to pick up, and vice versa. You don't know it all, and we depend on, you know what I'm saying, within the household. So thing is, a lot of times, you might come in thinking you know everything, so no matter what I know or say, you can override it anyway, or vice versa. You know what I'm saying? I've seen people, go through those situations where, I man, you woman, shut up, be quiet, this, that, and the third. And it's just like, no, gee, that's not how you got her. How you think you'll keep her? As a matter of fact, I was telling somebody about this. I have some friends, when they were dating, I mean, inseparable, like to the point where whenever we were out of the party, we used to have a lot of cookouts and stuff like that. He would sit in the seat, she would sit in his lap. That's how inseparable they were. Like everywhere they went, they knew knew them. And so, you know what I'm saying, they dated 3 or 4 years or whatever. And so they decided to get married, which of course, hey, that's obvious. Y'all madly in love with each other. And within the first year I saw her, and this is like maybe a year, they got married a bit after I got married. And I asked her, so how's marriage like treating? She's like, Dion, I don't know if I could take this. I was like, take what you mean? And she's like, he had just turned into this real disrespectful cat, you know what I'm saying? Calling her out her name and all of that stuff, you know what I'm saying? All the stuff he wasn't doing before. And I was like, man, he needs to learn how to communicate, man, because if not, I said, I don't know how much longer you could take this, you know what I'm saying, being called out your name and this, that, and the third. And long story short, they divorced within, I think they may have made a year being married before they divorced. Wow. But, she's married, she remarried now, doing great, doing wonderful. One of my guys just asked me about him actually last week, and I was like, man, I ain't seen her from that cat in years. He come out every now and then, and not to say that he's not doing well, but it's just like we don't see him nearly as much as we did, when we were younger and stuff like that. So, I mean, it's just some people coming into a marriage thinking I know better. But you ain't never been married. How you gonna know better than anybody? I mean, that's all true. We got, you know what I'm saying? I mean, if you follow your parents, hey, maybe your parents were married 30, 40 years, and that's great. that's not to say that we're going to be the same way, because if nothing else, I'm not your father. You're not my mother. So how could I say you're supposed to be just like my mother? But that's the only ideal they have. So that's what they decide to roll with. You know what I'm saying? They decide to roll with whatever ideal they have. So, you know what I'm saying? They just keep going and think, you know, I'm going to jam this square peg in this round hole, and it don't work out that way.
You're always jamming something. But that wraps it up for tonight. I thank you guys for tuning in to Candid Talk Radio. Hope my cousin, the host of the show, get well soon with her ice cream, her chocolate wine, and her bells and her whistles. So see you guys on next time. You did an awesome job.
Thank you. You did too, sweetheart. Y'all take care. We'll see y'all later.
Happy Thursday.